everybody, it's Oldskulenerd. Welcome in. Today is Saturday, and that means it's up and coming day. You guys know about this, right? Did y'all know?
Not yet.
Oh, you don't know?
Up and coming.
Oh, yeah. So, see the guy with the hat and the ridiculous Triple H Lemmy Motorhead mustache that drops down?
It's not Motorhead. We're going to talk about this.
No.
Lemmy.
No. Yeah, we're just...
I thought so too, but it's not. Lemmy has the, this connection here, and I don't. So this is called a horseshoe. Not horse shit, horseshoe.
It's called an interruption to an introduction. Anyway, so moving on. So,
You're absolutely right.
Captain Horseshoe in the face. And then next to him is someone that I'm really excited to speak to because I get to say the name Ferdinand many, many, many times. You want to know why I'm excited about this? Alex, do you want to know why I'm excited when you told me his name? It was because you said his name was Ferdinand. Pop quiz. I have never spoken to a Ferdinand in my life. It's first time. I'm pumped. I'm excited. So
he was my first two.
Well, yeah. Ferdinand, thank you for dressing up and putting your hair back into a nice bun. And I do appreciate that. And then, someone else is in the call too. Anyway, so I was just, there was, anyway. So, okay, no. Okay, we have to get all the nonsense out of the way so we can pay homage and reverence. Everyone, it's Kim. Kim was worried that I was going to mispronounce her name and call her Pam, like they do at Starbucks down in Florida. But I don't work for Starbucks in Florida, so got it right. All right, so these are three members of a band called Darkk with 2 Ks.
Yeah, the name the people gave out as at Starbucks, probably. They misspelled dark.
Coffee shade.
We
Nice.
said dork and they spelled it wrong.
Before we go back and talk about why you guys are here, why 2 Ks?
Everybody's waiting for everyone.
Yeah, very good question.
Don't volunteer all at once. But why are there 2 Ks?
Maybe I can answer the question. Like, we've been looking for a name for months, right? We had lists, and like every band does. And one thing we knew, it was supposed to be short, because our old band, 3 of us have been in an old band, Start a Revolution. That's a very long name, especially on a poster. We were like, we're never going to go back to that. Yeah, exactly. This is right.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, it has to be short. Tool was taken, Kiss was taken. So we're like, okay, now we can spill the tea maybe. It's like, we liked Dark Glass, but there's a company called Dark Glass.
Yeah.
They produce bass equipment or, stuff like that. And we're like, damn, maybe we can buy them. Maybe nobody knows them. Like, can we steal it from them? And then we're like, no, okay, we're not going to go there. Maybe we take Glass. Like, it has a double S. But Glass wasn't.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they were like, but we like the dark feeling of the whole Dark Glass thing. So maybe we take the dark thing. And then I was like, since I'm a designer by profession and I do all the, let's get the URL for this band and stuff. I'm like, we cannot just take a word that nobody can Google ever.
That's a very good
Let's
point.
make it unique in some way or the other. And we were trying a lot of things, long lists, blah, blah, blah. And then at some point I was like, some bands just add a K somewhere or add a double letter somewhere or leave out a letter or things like that. So I played around with that, and Dark with double K ended up in the list. And it's very simple. And it makes the word unique. And so this is what we took in the end.
And even if you typo, it still comes out okay.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. We had triple Ks though.
That works. That works everywhere but here. Over here, they're showing.
Yeah. Are you in the South?
Yeah, you do that over here, and we're all like, that's a different fan base altogether.
Complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets very complicated, and you spend half your time apologizing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We're not going to go that far. Absolutely not.
Yeah, but okay. The reason why I'm asking is because bands have a tendency to try to create unique names like ooh, but to go to say Darkk, you'd have to imagine it's been done.
Yeah.
But I guess not. And I was like, "There's no."
Yeah, it has been done.
It has been done, yeah.
Okay.
Been done.
But you only find out after the fact.
And it's we quickly developed the ambition to grow bigger than this very quickly. So you will find a couple of maybe DJs or small projects
From Russia.
or even unrelated business that has Darkk with a double K.
But not in the genre, like not in the metal.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, see,
No.
that's the
Exactly.
key, you know.
And we intended to get bigger than any of those.
Yeah. Well, hey, goals are important. Goals are important. And the reason why we're having this conversation is because of, well, all of you out there. Up and Coming Saturday is the day that we focus on up and coming bands. Now, my goal, and of course your goal, is to not ever be on Saturdays anymore.
Yeah.
But it always starts. There was a time where Up and Coming Saturday had a band called Bloodywood in it. There was an Up and Coming Saturday
Nice.
where there was a band called something Callboy, and then they changed their name because they got popular and realized, you know what, we had a problematic name too. Yeah. So So again,
It's interesting that they thought the Eskimo was the problematic part, not the callboy part.
you know, it's
Wow.
funny. It's well, honestly, at the time that they were trying to do Eurovision was the time that Eurovision was trying to market to America.
Oh,
And in America, callboy means nothing.
Really?
It
It's
means,
not the equivalent to call girl?
but in America,
It's
nobody
not?
cares.
Oh, they do now.
They don't
I
care
guess.
about that. That's never been a thing for them. And I talked to Ian, Tech the Tech, their tour manager, and I was like,
Yeah.
why'd they go with electric? He goes, dude, it's so much drama. And I was like, really? He goes, man, all they did was get this much popular. All you needed was this much, and everybody. That's why when you said, I was like, why is there 2Ks? And you're like, can't do 3. And I was like, you're right. Because the second you get popular, you're now attached to 3Ks. That's a hard pass. Well, you know, it's
yes.
it's like with Kiss. Kiss for
Ah,
a
the
long
double
time
S?
had the double S, but the way they drew their S in America
Yeah.
was that stylized Germanic S.
oh yeah.
And it was a completely different thing. But in America, nobody cared. They show
Yeah.
up in Europe and everyone's like,
Yeah.
no,
I
absolutely
had that as
not.
a kid. When I saw their logo, that was me as a kid. It's like, are they what? Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. Motley Crue, right? So
Yeah.
for Motley Crue to do the double dot above a vowel in the 80s meant nothing to us. In America,
Sure.
we're like, what? What does that mean? You do that in a European language context, and it has meaning. It has emphasis on different words and letters, and we're like, it just looks cool on an album.
Yeah.
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 So
To us, it's a different vowel for us.
So we've
Yeah.
wasted 8 minutes and 30 seconds talking about ridiculous names and why. We also talked about the fact of you're here for a reason, that it's Up and Coming Saturday, and we're going to talk about the song that I did the reaction to and everyone's reaction to that song. But I want to learn more about y'all as a band, because when we popped into this conversation before it started, you guys noticed things on my wall from artists that you guys know. And I'm like, wait, you know them too? And we're like, oh, so now we're all friends because we know people. But now I want to make sure that you guys get the opportunity to be one of these. So let's talk. Calm down. I can only buy so many vinyls.
Trying to zoom in.
I'm so bored. Majestica, Elaine, Sabaton, Feuerschwanz, Malevolence, Nanowar Steel, Dragon Force.
Xandria.
Yeah, the Xandria, Amaranth, Ginger, Battle Beast, Seven
Battle
Spires.
Beast.
Yeah, there's a lot of them up there. Those are all people that were dumb enough to let me backstage. Anyway, That's not true.
Free
Some
trade.
of them just mailed it back. Anyway, so so my question to you guys is, where are you from? How did you get together? And explain your music in a way that people don't get lost. Because some artists, I ask them to explain their music, and I'm like, what? So, okay, tell us a little bit about the people, not the stage presence or theme. I want to know about Alex. I definitely want to know about Ferdinand and why that was your parents' choice. And of course, I want to know about, Kim's adventures in coffee. So tell me a little bit about yourselves, and then I'll probably have questions about that after. So whichever one wants to go first. Who wants to go first? Volunteer.
K is first.
Nice. You've
Everyone is saying a different
volunteered.
name.
Nice. You've been volunteered. Go.
Okay. My name is Malik when I'm not called Alex. I'm from Germany, as all of us are, even though my name is Arabic, but we might dive into this later. But we're from the super west of Germany. Basically, we're from Los Angeles of Germany. It's called Aachen with a... So our city borders to the Netherlands and Belgium, so we can literally walk across two different borders. So this also has an influence on our mindset, I think. Yeah, I'm old school, and I'm a nerd. So I felt very attached to your name when I saw it. I play the guitar in Darkk, and I do management and stuff, and I sing a little bit, but don't let me sing too much because yeah. And this is Ferdinand.
He's a facial hair shaping connoisseur as well. Wait, but before we go to the smiling bull, how old are you?
Oh,
You guess.
guess.
It's the guessing game we love the most.
Shit. Hold on. It's that clean European living that pisses me off. Hold on. Think about it.
We have salad and stuff.
We do too, but ours has like different.
Not in the
carcinogenic
burger.
chemicals.
I'm talking pure. Anyways. Okay, you go.
Okay,
Go.
42.
Nice one, but lukewarm.
This is
We say,
right.
cold and warm, and
How far off am I? Do I have to go higher or lower?
Higher.
you don't. Kim, you're giving it
Kim's gonna
away.
rat you out. Okay, old fart over here. I'm gonna say 46.
Sweet of you, but no.
I could say he could be my father.
Okay.
I like her mom.
Oh,
All right. I'm gonna get this. Okay. You're 51 years old.
whoa! That was a
Exactly.
point.
Spot on.
Okay. Are you ready for the best part of that entire answer? How old am I?
Yeah. 51.
51.
The day that this video comes out is my 51st birthday.
Yay! So I'm older than you, but so basically,
All right,
happy birthday
fucking
to you.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no,
Congratulations.
You do not look your age, which is saying something. People say that I don't look 51, but I do when the gray comes in. But yeah, when it starts
I have
moving, you're like
gray
"Who's
hair as
older?"
well.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on, Malik. It's not that much.
No,
She's not okay. It's not enough for
nobody
Kim.
feels sorry for you.
No.
No. Nobody
Even
feels
I
sorry.
have gray hair and the roots.
Yeah, but you have
And
gray
I'm
hair
younger.
because of him. See, there's a difference. Okay,
Might
moving
be.
on.
Maybe
Moving
I
on.
am her father.
Moving on
Also, we
to the 20-something-year-old in the who dressed up for the occasion. Thank you for dressing up. Ferdinand, tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
20 something.
Yeah, the age is off again.
Oh, I know. I know.
Maybe one more thing. I think he downplayed it a little bit by saying just management and stuff. He is basically our complete outside presence by managing also social media, doing the designs, so everything our fans see and feel when they have their merch in their hands and so on is all done by him. So that's no small feat. It's a full-time job.
As
Thank
the
you.
husband, life partner of a creative, I know exactly what that's like. Because
Yeah.
mine's in her office right now, and she starts very early, and she sometimes stays up way past I go to bed because she's fucking good. You know, because people are like, "Can you do this? Can you what you did?" And she's like, "Sure." And next thing you know, yeah, I'm a kept man. I you know, she makes money. I just, you know, I clean and do dishes and cook because you know, she's that good. So
Can you come over to my house when I'm doing band stuff? I would love to
Right.
have you.
shut up! I was talking about you, but I was saying good things. Go back to yeah. She heard me. She can. Oh, she's got really good ears too. Shit. Okay. So that's enough about my better half. All right. So continue, Ferdinand,
Yes.
on talking about you. You took us off subject. That's your fault. You didn't have to talk
Yes.
about Malik. No, you could
I'm
have just
sorry.
let him sit. But no, you had to poke the bear. Continue.
Yep. But every once in a while, you know,
So sweet.
so I'm an engineer. I have made music together with Malik, also with Jens, our bass player, who's not present tonight, since 2013, late 2013.
Before Russia.
Yes. And we function very well together. And my role in the band is also a little creative, or more on the creative side. I delve into songwriting, or parts of it, because I'm not the only one. And I take care of photographs sometimes.
You play the guitar as well.
I do play the guitar and do some backing vocals, yes. So I like to be on stage as well, and I mean, that's always when we feel everything pays off. So there's like 95% work behind the scenes, and then this 5% on stage is when, yeah, when we feel best.
When you say you're an engineer, what kind of engineer are you?
So I studied metallurgical engineering.
Okay.
So that's
He knows metal, you know.
Yeah, like literally. It's kind of like
Yeah,
Nano or
literally.
Steel or a bunch of Italian astrophysicists. It just pisses me off how smart they are. And then when I met them, they act so stupid, and I'm like, why? And they're like, because we're not at school, we're not at work, so we can act like children. And I'm like, all right, makes sense. We're gonna actually let Pam, tell her story and make sense of all of this nonsense that the boys have spilled for the last 45 minutes. So Kim, now that the bull and the horseshoe mustache have completely wasted your time with me as we self-deprecate, what is your part in all this, and why do you continue to allow this nonsense?
Probably because I'm way too polite. Yeah, I'm Kim or Pam, whatever you want to call me. So,
She's fucking
I
Pam
s-
forever now. You know that, right?
okay. Yeah, seems like I'm Pam now, and I sing and scream in Darkk. Yes,
That's it. Fine. Okay,
that's
thank
it.
you.
All right, cool.
That's it.
Thanks, Pam. Alec, the genre arrangement method that you guys do, and when you write and no, I'm sorry, I'm just kidding.
No,
So
I'm fine.
She's keeping
Kim,
the band together. That's what she left out.
What?
You're keeping the band together. You're the good soul. You're the glue that
Am I?
that is thick.
Okay.
I could have told you that. That's usually how that works.
Okay, seems like I keep the band together.
What,
No,
what,
I
what
love
do you
these
do?
guys.
What do you do outside of music? Do you do anything outside of music?
Yeah, I'm working in a kindergarten. So I have a lot of patience, obviously.
So what she's saying is the reason why the band is together is because she's used to managing little children that run around all day long.
exactly. Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah. 100%.
No, she's the salt of the earth. She's taking care of the young people, which is a thankless, loving
End
job.
of the old.
Not funny.
Yeah, we always do the age jokes because he does not look
Ageism.
like 51, and I always say it could be my father because he could be. I'm not 12 or something. I'm 29, but he technically could be
Yeah,
my father
no.
still.
I do math for a living. So does Ferdinand. Yes, you could be his daughter. I have a daughter that's 25.
Yeah. See?
So yeah.
I always say my father is 55, so.
Okay, I'm having a problem with Kim.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm
Old
having a
already.
problem with Kim. When I say this, everyone that's part of my channel will know immediately when I say it. You're my daughter, by the way.
Okay.
No, your mannerisms, your quick jokes, the fact that as funny as we try to be, you're quicker sometimes. The way you hold yourself, the way you talk, you're my daughter. My daughter Caroline, who is a huge part of my channel. She's my cynical warrior.
No.
That's
No, I tell people all the time, and this will never change. It's a bad joke because of COVID, but I'm going to say it anyway. My daughter Caroline is 100%. There is no half-ass. She's 100%. Now that means that either A, she's going to cure cancer one day, or B, she's going to be the lab tech that's going to drop a vial and wipe out the world.
no.
That joke doesn't work as well anymore with COVID, but I've been saying that joke since way before that, so we can go with it. Because, and your mannerisms and the way you talk, you remind me of my daughter. So that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
No, I take that as a compliment.
She's my
Thank
hero.
you.
So let's not fuck around. She is my hero.
I hope my father says similar things about me.
He does. He does.
I think so.
Is he alive?
I think so. Yes, he is.
Do you know where he is right now?
Yes.
Then he does. He does.
I hope he's at home. No, I think he's at home with my mom.
Okay, so now that we've wasted a lot of time, and I've got no place to be, by the way.
Me neither.
Now that we've talked about the stupidness of myself, the oddities of Alex's choice of hats, Malik's struggle with shaping a beard, and Kim's identity crisis with people named Pam.
Thank you, America.
If that's the worst thing that fucking happened to you, you got off easy. I live here and stupid shit happens to me. Wait, hold on, stop. Have any of you ever been to a Buc-ee's?
To it?
Nope.
Buc-ee's? No. Is that a chain? Like fast food chain or something?
Or is that
It's worse?
Worse for something?
I've been to Chuck E. Cheese, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King's, Taco Bell, almost everywhere. What's Buc-ee's?
Okay.
Or is that what you call Starbucks? No.
No. Because she says she's been to Starbucks, which means she's been to America a bit. And eventually...
We have Starbucks in Germany as well, so yeah.
But they don't fuck up your name in Germany. That's how I know.
Oh, yeah,
they do.
They do.
Okay,
Totally on brand.
So you know what a gas station is, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Where you go, you get your petrol, you buy your petrol outside, you go inside and there's snacks.
Yeah.
A counter, little snack area, maybe a bathroom,
Yeah.
and you get the hell out. Okay. I want you to think of a gas station that is so big you can buy a kayak, clothes, camping equipment, ice chests, smokers.
Oh, wow.
It's rough.
Okay.
It's bigger than an Aleppo. They do smoked brisket.
Wow.
And okay, so a gas station.
Is
in
that
Germany,
gas station called Costco?
A Buc-ee's and a Costco are very similar. Okay, how many gas pumps would you find at a gas station in Germany?
4, 8, sometimes less.
Yeah, it's pretty common. Pretty common. 95 plus.
What? Why?
Let's supersize it.
That is a very, very, very good question. Why?
Yeah, why?
It is an obsession that if you are a band and you get the opportunity to tour the United States, even if it's in support of another band, do it. And make sure they go to the South, at least down to Nashville. Just so you can take a band picture in front of the bronze beaver that is this tall and get all the Buc-ee's merch and send pictures back to the people in Germany, and they'll go, holy fuck, they've been to a Buc-ee's. I've gone with bands that are visiting from everywhere. Say, we're going to meet at Buc-ee's. And they're like, what? I was like, just put it in your navigator. Trust me. That's where we're meeting. And we meet, and they're like, oh, and normally you'd think like, oh, Oldskulenerd, oh, this band, oh, da 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 da. They're like, is this Disney World? Like it's so big. Yeah. So when you guys get a chance to come to the United States to tour, because it's going to happen, you have to go to a Buc-ee's, and you have to make sure I know which one it is, so we can go there and eat barbecue and have sweats. So yeah, you can buy a kayak in there. You can buy everything. Yeah, it's literally one of those. You can buy almost anything.
That's ridiculous. But yes.
It is very. You're going to YouTube Buc-ee's after this, and you're going to go.
Yeah, I really need to.
I just Googled it.
So let me ask this, because we've talked about all the fun stuff and the silly stuff, and we talked a little bit about Kim, but we should talk more about Kim. We got to talk about the music, because I've done this reaction, and it premieres today. My reaction, and I want to talk about the music. I want to talk about your theming. What your I don't want to talk about genres, because I find that your band isn't going to fit in a genre. There's too many elements that kind of go a little bit everywhere, and that's good because you want to have a unique feel. What is Darkk's theme? And try to answer as best you can. And what should people be looking for if they come across your music that identify who you guys are as musicians and artists? Oh shit, it got real.
Yeah.
I like
That's. Please answer in 2 sentences.
Yeah.
No, we wasted 51 minutes on nonsense. You can take as long as you want about the music.
Kim.
Okay, I don't know if there's a theme in general. I think the best way to describe our music is like, you have something very poppy and sometimes very heavy mashed together, and catchy hook lines, and I don't know. Oh.
You start talking about music, he wants to know what's up.
Oh man.
Keep
I
going.
love
That's
the
a cute
cats out
description.
of the room.
Little Chewbacca.
That's his name.
Yay!
Nice.
I love it. Oh,
His name is Chewie. And
No!
his birth
Nice.
certificate is Baron Chewbacca, and then my last name. So
my gosh. He looks...
Cute.
No, I cannot talk anymore.
Yeah.
I love animals. Really.
I'm a fan too. Okay, so you didn't want to really define the music like a theme. What is, do you find that the music is based upon outward stories you're trying to tell, or is it reflections of personal experience? Because sometimes bands can do both. Sometimes it's all about the personal reflection. When you guys write songs, I guess both musical and then lyrical, I know those are 2 different writing processes. Who does a lot of the lyrics and who does a lot of the music, or is it a collaboration?
Yeah,
Kim
I'm
is
doing like
incredibly proficient in lyrics, yeah.
yeah, I'm doing like 99% of the lyrics. Sometimes the guys help me out with some sentences or phrases when we think, okay, this does not really make sense. Yeah, but actually, all of the lyrics are mine.
And personal reflection, I would say.
Not all.
Not only.
Not
Yeah.
only. It's like a lot of songs or like lyrics has to do something with things I experienced in the past or people close to me. But some things are like made up in my mind. But a lot of
Um,
things are like, yeah, happened to people close to me or whatever. So mostly it's very personal.
Okay. Would you say that your lyrical content? Well, here's a better. What was? Okay, Chewy says, ask them about the music and the lyrics. Which one's written first? Which one is tooled to the other? Or are they a collaboration and they're built together at the same time? That was really good.
good question.
Oh, that's a
yeah,
good question
who
because
knows?
we have different ways to write songs. Everyone is working a bit different. Like to me, the easiest way is if the guys come up with a riff. I hear it a few times and stuff, and then I think of a melody and some lyrics. And the lyrics are kind of growing. Sometimes I have some ideas and write them down, and then I try to like recycle them and to about think more about them. What could I add? What do I want to tell? Yeah, but
You have to show the Bible.
Okay, you've got a book of thought, a book of lyric, a book of word.
yeah,
Yeah, the Necronomicon.
Yep.
yeah,
Klaatu
there's
barata. Anyway, so here's the question after that. Okay, this is where we're gonna get into the shit that I like. Okay, would you say that it starts where the guys come up with a catchy hook or a riff, and when you hear that, does it elicit a response to a memory, something you've written? Go, ooh, 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 the thing I wrote, or is it sometimes where you hear it and then you ponder hearing it and you see what comes across, or is it sometimes either or?
yeah, either or, but most of the time, I don't know, it just happens. I cannot explain it. I don't think about that too much. And um Ferdinand, on the opposite, is working a bit different. He's thinking like very much about all the steps and all the feelings he wants to transport with one song, and I'm not like that. So sometimes that's funny when we write songs together because he's asking me, yeah, what feeling do you want to give out, or how should this song feel? You're singing this and that, so the music should be like this and that. And I say, I don't
Okay,
think about it
all
that
right,
much. I just go with the flow.
all right. I'm about to out that motherfucker over there, Ferdinand. Why are you doing that? And why is it because you're analyzing everything because that's how you are?
He's an engineer. Hello.
That's exactly what's happening. So,
Yeah.
okay, so you hear something. Let's say Alec writes something. Okay. He plays something, it elicits something, either a thought, an idea that you had in your head and your heart, or it fits something perfectly with what you have in the book. And you start feeling it. You start going out. Malik starts adding things. And the reason why it comes across so well structured is then Ferdinand checks in. He starts applying all these different balances. Well, what about this element here? And does it segue to here? And in the musical, okay, there's something that I caught in your music that some bands don't catch. Some bands, they're right on the number with it and it's easy for them. There's a difference between writing a song, lyrics, music, and that's what we got. Where people have a tendency to focus on one of two things. I know people that will listen to music and all they hear is Kim's words. All they hear is Kim's vocals. That's all they hear. Those people love Taylor Swift. And then you have the people that are listening to, oh, dude, did you hear that fill? Oh, dude, that bridge. Oh, that segue. Ooh, the tag. Oh, they changed tempo, the key change. Oh, fuck. He went to... Okay. Those people love Rush. Okay? But sometimes a band can tell an emotional story that relates to both needs of the person. There's the people that gain emotional
Is it
uplift.
us?
Do what?
Is it us? Please say it's us.
That's why we're that's why we're talking. That's why we're talking. Okay. I know we made jokes and everything. We talked about Buc-ee's and bullshit, but this is the real reason why we're having the conversation. There are bands that when they create music, they're going to get my attention. Not every band can do that. I don't care how good of a singer you are. This is not against you, Kim, by the way. I know people that have amazing songs and they sing and people love the singer and then the band does well because it connects to people in that way. If a band cannot tell me a musical story to go with a lyrical story, you'll lose me because it doesn't match up. The musical storytelling, how a song also tells a story, like the soundtrack of a movie. A movie is just a bland conversation until you have the right music behind it, and then it becomes an epic blockbuster like a John Williams score for Star Wars. Or there are things that transcend. When musical storytelling can match the lyrical, written, emotional output of the vocalist, got something fucking special. There are bands that do that. And we love those bands, you know, and they're undeniable. When you listen to Seven Spires, that's a band of consummate professionals musically. Musicianship, holy shit. And Adrienne Cohen can sing like a fucking goddess. But that's not what makes them good. What makes them good is her vocal storytelling, fantastical as it may be, matches what the guys in the band create. And they're telling a story together that whether you're a nerd or you're an impassioned, just romantic, you love both parts. Bands like freaking Unleash the Archers. That's a storytelling band from Canada. Oh my God. That's epic on top of epic. Fucking Canadians, what do they do? Just create these... and they're a bunch of fucking nerds. They all have side jobs. But when they get together, they can tell a story through their music that when if I was to read the lyrics, I would cry. If I listened to Kim sing lyrics, it has the same impact as reading a poem. But if I take the vocals out and I just listen to the soundtrack, would I still feel that pain in my heart? If you can do that, I don't care if you have a record deal. I don't care if you have the big machine behind you that all of a sudden nobody knows who you are. Next thing you know, you're sleep token. It doesn't matter. If you can connect to people, you ready to get down? Okay. If you can connect to people, it's going to happen either way, whether it be organic like Rush or manufactured like heavy metal bands of the 80s. And Malik knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because Malik and I grew up in a time where all the best bands never made it. It was all the bands that record labels can make whatever they wanted to send out to people. With YouTube now, you can be the artist. It's the time of the artist. It's the time of people to make music that connects personally with people. There's dynamics in your music that when I did this reaction, there were elements that reminded me of a band called Gore. Of Six Sense with Vicky Sarakis and her band out in Arizona, of Lauren Babick and her bands and her projects. There's different artists that connect with me, not because they're the fastest. It's not because they're the hardest. It's not because you're the best harsh vocalist, melodic vocalist, dynamic. What's happening right now is, when Alec and I were growing up, there was one person that was female fronting a metal band. That was it. And before Arch Enemy came around, there were no women doing harsh vocals, especially in America. Europe did it first, but in America, it's unknown. A woman doing power metal vocals, operatic style, with a big blasting, belting vocal to metal music, did not exist in America. But in Europe, throw a rock. There's 50 of you I'm going to hit with one throw. And you're doing it better than anybody in America. It's just the way it is. America's starting to catch up. But there are these bands that create music like your band. That the reason why we're having this conversation is because I wanted to know, as you make this music, who are your influences, or is your story the influence you're trying to emulate? Because there's stuff you guys are doing that tell me you're not new to this game.
Yeah, that's true. And also, maybe one thing that we didn't mention yet. There is one other person, not specifically part of the band, and I don't know if he wants to get mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So there's a guy named Tom Albrecht, and he's making
my best friend, though.
Yeah, videos together with him. But in his profession, he is a music producer, but in a totally different genre. And his heart, or there's a space in his heart for metal music. And he wants to produce metal music. And so he wanted to go on this journey together with us, or for a part of the way, just to see where it goes and how he can contribute and how he can learn from it and just participate. And he has had a huge impact just by enabling us to, when we started out, to produce demos that were studio master quality. And when we were starting out on this level, it already felt different. The thinking changed. It was not just a recording in the basement and so, it's just for our ears maybe and so on. But we already got this mindset of, hey, we really got something going here. We should fan the flames and make it big. Yeah.
Maybe I can shed some more light on the process, because
light on the dark, that's hilarious. But go ahead.
I love that you asked this specific question, because I always thought the only people who will see that in our music might be us. And when Layla Melody dropped us into your show, and Devo just dropped our song The Damage onto your show, and you immediately reacted to it, you watched it for, I think, a minute, then you stopped, and then you went on for a rant, not against, it wasn't negative. It was like explaining the immediate feeling that you had from a certain part of the song, and you went out to explain what modern metal is, or what the difference in metalcore compared to something else is. And I thought, spot on. He exactly caught the elements that we were trying to, that we felt when we made this. And maybe that's why I wrote something, I reached out, I can't remember, but I remember that when you were watching that, I felt like you're watching it through, like you saw the depth of it. And I think what you tried to explain before was songs can be, shallow and fun, and it's all good, cool riff, let's go, done.
Does it do what everyone else was doing? Does it check all the little boxes?
It's all, and we might have songs that are like that. But what we're trying to do is create more depth to it, because it needs to, it fulfills a need within us. So I'm talking as a guitarist right now.
Yeah.
And the way this band maybe started, the first spark was me being at my friend Tom's studio. And you need to know, just for, just as a backstory, as I said, the three of us, like Jens, Ferdinand, and I, we were playing in this band, Started Revolution, for over 10 years. We've been touring Russia twice. We've toured the UK. We've toured Poland, of course, like Germany, and we've seen a lot of stages. That was more post-hardcore, and all of the music was written. Most of the music was written by our singer Patrick. So we were a band long before this band, and so we knew each other well. and we worked together well. But the songwriting process was completely different.
Yeah.
And then Patrick, he got 2 kids. He moved away from Aachen, from our city. He went into a totally different genre. So we were like, okay, the head and soul of this band is gone, but we love making music together and we have experience making music together. Let's start over. And we had met Kim, and she came to 1 or 2 rehearsals because we were trying to replace Patrick as a live singer for a long time. And we played some shows with other friends who helped us out. And then we thought, okay, we will not find someone who sounds like Patrick, who is Patrick. So let's go for the other route, try to find someone else. And so Kim came in to do Start a Revolution. And she had a completely different voice. She didn't do harsh vocals at the time even, which we had in the songs. And we were like, especially me, I was like, but this is so different. And then COVID hit, exactly before the first tryout show we could do. And after COVID, we tried to pick up the pieces, start again. We had bookings, and then Patrick tried to do the show, and then he had to cancel because of his new other job. And that was the moment where Jens said, okay, I love making music with you guys, but this is not sustainable. This band cannot grow in this way because we cannot even confirm a show and really play it. And he was totally right. And then even I dropped the ball and I was like, okay, let's do something from scratch, knowing we would lose the 3,500 Instagram, followers and all of that. But we only asked Kim to join the band. Like, we never searched for a singer. It was because, like, personality wise, we met her, I don't know, like a handful of times, and we knew this is just the perfect fit. So fast forward, it wasn't yet the time to start a band. I was just, it's like Start a Revolution wasn't working really well anymore. And I was very frustrated because I put 10 years of my life into this. And I was sitting at my friend Tom's studio, and we were talking again, times and times again, about music, and he's doing pop music mostly, very successful in Germany. Like, he's doing big artists, writing songs for them, producing them. So I was sitting there, and he's like, don't you just want to maybe grab a guitar and record a riff? And I hadn't done that, writing music, because Patrick wrote all the music. I hadn't done this for 10 plus years. With all my bands before, I did, but that was such a long time ago. Remember what you did in your 30s? You can't just pick up right now, and right? And I was like, I don't know, man, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, here's the guitar, just tune it and play something. I played something, and that something became Traitor, our song Traitor, later. And that's the magic that Ferdinand talked about. Like, heavy metal is about the sound. It's not only about the riff. If the riff sounds shit, you're not going to enjoy it. It's about the sound. And that's what he taught me, is that you have to feel it. And he just edited some drums, he like programmed some drums. He let me record the guitar, 4 times, whatever you do. And all of a sudden, it fucking sounded like a song that moved me. Mm-hmm. It was a riff. I'm gonna start crying right now because this made me cry. He knows, like, Tom, if you're watching, see? This was the very moment that I was like, fuck, I need to be in a band. I need this.
Okay. There's
so thank you, Tom,
there's three
for
things,
that moment.
There's 3 things that if you do, you will always have my attention. Okay. Number one, you have
to get naked.
You have to be making music that you believe in, that you believe in. You're not worried if everyone else is going to get it. It's, do you get it? That's number 1. Number 2, the value of not doing what someone else has done because someone else has done it. And number 3, the use of rests. Nobody knows this until today. I'm a music producer.
Ooh.
I'm a drummer. I'm a percussionist. Jazz, funk, folk music,
Oh,
American style. I gave it up to be a dad, an engineer, but I also gave up on music because I hated the music that was coming out in the 90s and early 2000s. It was created by a machine. It was created for the least common denominator. It was created for massive shoveling of shit into people's ears because someone way off created it in a booth somewhere and there was no artist behind it. Everybody was doing the same thing. Everyone had to have a turntable. Everyone had to do nu metal. Everyone had to do grunge. Everyone had to do... Why? So the bands that were willing to not do that would catch my attention. An example would be System of a Down. In the time that System of a Down came out, they were the Electric Callboy of their time. They were the Rush of their time. If you go back to the 80s and 70s, Rush made entire albums knowing we're not going to sell 5 of these. And that's if all of our moms buy 1 copy. But it didn't matter because the audience would be found. Somebody out there is going to feel how you feel. Somebody out there is going to understand what you're going through. When a band makes music, I got in so much trouble with Spirit Box's fan base, by the way. I'm not even allowed to make Spirit Box reactions anymore. At all. A member of their distribution company 3 years ago sent me a letter that said, don't ever make another reaction. If you do, I'll strike every video you have.
Why?
what?
Oh,
And,
whoa.
and this is not the band at all. I love that fucking band. Their song Constance, still I can't listen to it. I listened to it one time, cried my eyes out, had a reaction. My reaction went on Loudwire magazine because they made a song that made me feel my grandmother dying of dementia right there in front of me. Literally had me connect with my grandmother, and it was a fucking metal song. A lot of the music they do does that. It's so out of the box. It's so, what the fuck is going on? And they made one song that I went, wow, that sounds like a song that they made so they could play it on the radio. I didn't realize when I said that it was. And the distributor heard me say that and went, and it was the least Spirit Box song they had ever done. Stuff Spirit Box put on their last album was holy shit. There are bands that have massive followings. Radio play does not matter. Doesn't matter what the industry thinks about it. They're independent and they're going to be that way. If you have a band like Lorna Shore is the loudest, fastest, most aggressive, evil, fucking, Will Ramos makes alien killing animal noises.
Yes.
But what does every Lorna Shore song do in the last 2 years? It used to be, did you hear the new animal noises that Will Ramos did? That's how they got attention. Glenwood, the Hellfire trilogy with the husband who lost his wife and he killed himself, but he didn't, the 3-song trilogy they did 2 years ago, all the stuff from the new album, you feel that. You're not even, the fact that if I play it in front of somebody, they're like, what is going on? I ignore all of that because the band creates this musical epic score that around all of that chaos, you could hear this longing, sad, melodic, just this arrangement that just, you're like, why am I crying? And then you read the message at the bottom of the video and it's a song about dementia. And you're like, oh my God, that's what it was. You can do things that can be like everybody else. Or you can make something that no matter what the genre, like you said, your friend's a pop producer. There are musicians out there that will make pop music that is easy and widely acceptable by the masses. And then you have pop musicians and contemporary artists that creates stuff that isn't just acceptable by the masses, but the people that get it, oh my God. It's like it never leaves them. Your music does that a little bit to me.
He is like that, by the way.
When I do reactions,
between the lines.
when I do reactions, I could be like, that was pretty cool. That was pretty awesome. But if you get me to run on a rant, you got me. That's how you're like, man, this guy went off on this rant and he connected with the music and he totally figured out what we were trying to do. And then he realized that, yes, Kim is singing her ass off and the song is beautiful, but he caught all the other things that we thought, man, this is for us. No one's going to get this, but this is so cool. And I got it. Here's the thing. I am not alone. Because Davo heard it, and that's why Davo sent it to me. People get it. You're going to make stuff that people are going to understand and appreciate from the simple perspective. And then you're going to make stuff that just gets people. Those are the people that take you to the next part of it. Because they're going to come up and go, I loved when you did that. And you're going to come off and go, you know what? That was an authentic connection. How do we make more authentic connections? Let's keep telling our story, but tell our story in a way that nobody can deny this is us on a track. A lot of bands will chase the rabbit. Okay, do we have a blah breakdown in this? Do we have a half count breakdown in this? Do we have some LED light bars? Can we make our video in an abandoned warehouse with a wet floor? Can we make ours with AI? You know, those are people that are doing something because someone else is doing it. Can you ride the wave? Yes. But with like anything else, things change. And that's no longer the thing. When that stops being the thing, if that's what you've hitched your entire band's identity to, you're stuck there. So either you're going to be Rush or you're going to be a boy band. Because eventually when boy bands aren't the thing, not everybody can be Justin Timberlake. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Right? So the music that you guys are creating, the reason why I say focus on rests. In a song, a rest can have just as much weight as the perfect hook. Mm-hmm. Because a rest causes anticipation. A rest, bands that try to see how much fucking music they can shove in a measure are stuck in that genre. They're stuck there. When I mentioned Lorna Shore, they're a band that will literally put 12 notes in a 4-note measure. Why? Because they can. They have the musical chops. But they make sure that if you put 8 notes in that measure, make sure that when you pull that measure out to a line, you can still see the story being told. You can't, then you're just seeing how fast you can go. There's plenty of bands that can go super fast. They can be super loud. They can get a pretty girl to make animal noises. But can you get people to care? Ginger's one of those bands. Ginger has been around for a long time. They went from being aggressive, loud, brash, in your face, and they embraced the funk. They embraced the style of, we're going to take bass and drums, take a jazz groove funk component, let our guitarists keep writing crazy phrasing, but our driving force is the funk and groove, and let the bass and drums become melodic in the groove. And then we're going to let our lead singer just push limits and take nothing off the table. If we have a crazy idea, we're like, I don't think people are going to get it, we're definitely doing that shit. Are all their songs hits? No, they are not. Are some of their songs repetitious? They can be if you're stuck in the groove. but they never settle with anything that isn't different. I get that from, I've only listened to 2 songs and I've done reaction to the one, but I'm getting that there's something unique there. As you guys progress to the next track, to the next idea, to the next page in that little black book that Kim has, what are your driving thoughts as to the next part? Because you said you sat down with your friend, you're in the studio, he tells you to make a lyric, you write a riff, you write this riff, and you're like, this is it. Where does the next one come from? I was going to say that some of what you guys are doing is a hybrid. You can see the influences in both. I can see I think that's one of my favorite things about so far the tracks that I've checked out, and I will check out Home. That's going to happen. But one of the things that I've noticed, and that's one of the things that caught me, was when I go into a song, if a Sabaton song starts, I don't need to wait for Joachim to start singing to know it's Sabaton. If it's Rammstein, I don't need Till to say a word. I know it's Rammstein. If I play Darkk, I do not know it's Darkk until I look. That's good to me. I need it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. Disturbed has done very, very good playing the same fucking song for 20 years, but it's the same song. It's the same song. But again, sometimes you go with what works, and sometimes you reinvent yourself. Some bands love to be creative. Some bands love to, I don't know, you don't know what you're going to get when you press play. Bands like that excite me. But again, if I hear dun, 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 I expect Nico and Kevin to come out dancing and we're going to have a fucking techno party, and I want that. I need that. Sometimes you want both. But the bands that can go out there, and if I go up there and I press play on Home and it's a completely different reaction or thought process to Damage, there's a reason why. Because the origins of that come from different places. Like you said, totally. Your previous band was one songwriter, one focus, one vision. Mm-hmm. When you have multiple people writing, as long as they can collaborate well together, you can have not only varying songs, but varying perspectives. And those perspectives come across in the finished product. Even if the producer that's putting it all together is the same person, as long as if Kim puts something together from something that Alec writes, right, musically, and she comes up with something, or she hears something and she translates it to you guys like, okay, I heard this song, but there was this part of it and this transition, and I cannot get it out of my head. And she's playing it out, or she's telling you about it, and you recreate, and she's like, that's it. And I've already started writing, and then it winds up something that's uniquely from her soul. Never, ever, ever forget that the three of you, and I've only met the three of you so far, the three of you as songwriting people have to remember that if Ferdinand comes up with something and it's from his perspective and it's from his heart and stuff, please remember to support his perspective in that. Because I've seen bands take a song and I've heard the demo part of it and went, why didn't you release that? Oh, well, our producer got a hold of it and he thought it would be better. It was like this. Yeah, he made it like everything else. And they missed out on something that I said, y'all got to play that. They took the demo version before it was polished or changed up because the producer wanted to do something they felt would be better for them. Played that version, the demo version live. Crowd lost their shit. Said, y'all got to play that all the time like that. And then they were like, unfortunately, we don't own that song anymore. It's distributed. It's.
Ooh.
You can play live whatever you want.
You're right. You're right. You're right. This band they were locked in. Like not everybody has the same deal. There are also bands that I know that will never sign. They will always be independent because they love the creative freedom. I think in today's world, you do not have to chase the label. You don't have to chase you don't have to chase a distribution deal. Now, if it's a perfect fit and it's what's best for the band, it's best for your music, and there's a relationship, and they get you, and they want to support what you're doing, more power to you. More weight, more power, let's go to the moon. There are some bands that they don't want to let go of their artistic freedom, and they know that not everything they do is always going to follow the guidance of someone, and it doesn't work out. Fortunately now, in metal music, the big money labels have lower labels or mid labels underneath the umbrella of the big company that say, let the artist do crazy shit. And then the artist go do crazy stuff. And then it's happened in the last couple of years. I don't know if you've noticed it. A few bands that were super creative before got pulled under the big, their music is different. And you're like, oh, the big money pushes behind them. So that crazy stuff they used to do kind of got damped down because now it's more for the masses. And I was like, oh no, it can't happen. But
Classic.
yeah, but sometimes if you're super young and you're not and you get caught up in it, that can happen. But y'all are such a unique dynamic where you have people that have been in it for a long time. You have the young perspective that has this fresh exposure and this thought process and this energy from this perspective. You've got the grizzled veteran that could be her dad. You've got the engineer that's going to overanalyze all that shit.
We got two engineers actually.
Well, I'm only speaking to the other one. So from the perspective of, I think you have something that balances out everybody.
And I can also share some good news. I feel very supported. So when I have an idea, they let me run. Right now, something's in the works that where we took a different approach.
Ooh.
So Kim had a vocal idea first, and she shared it. And
that doesn't happen often.
Yeah. She gave it to me, and I treat it like her melody and her vocals are the law, and I make the music around it. So this was the first time.
I put my trust into you. So yeah.
Well, it's like letting someone take care of your children.
Kind of.
Because they go to kindergarten. If the parents didn't feel Kim, they'd be like, I'm taking my kid out of that school. I think some of the relationships you guys have are only going to bolster the future of this project, the future of this band, the future of the vision you guys have. Because when Alex says a name like Anna, that is a woman who does not compromise on her music. She will fight to the death for her story, for her music. When you have people like that around you that say, if Kim looks at an Anna Brunner and goes, that's a woman who, if she feels something and something comes to her, she's going to fight for it until it's on the album. And it has to literally tell the story that she wants it to tell. Can it ruffle some feathers? Can it be a little different? Can it be a little daring? For League of Distortion to create the album, the last two albums they've done, they had to be willing to say, well, fuck all these rules, because our lead singer isn't going to be a pretty diva on a poster. She's going to show up like she's ready to go and fight in a cage somewhere. But you know what? You respect the shit out of that. You
should see her live. And so we played a few shows with her.
Don't get me fucking started on the fact that I don't live in Europe. Please don't get me on that shit. I will rant and rave about that all the time. I see all the posters. Oh, this is band. We're playing here. I'm like, fuck y'all, man. All the good music.
You're welcome. You can come over, visit us.
I wish look that big body of water is expensive. It's expensive for
I
y'all
know.
to come here,
Yeah.
but it's worth it. But I think from what I heard on those two songs, it was so fresh and different. But it was okay. When I say fresh and different, you're not rewriting the genre, okay?
No.
You're influenced by a lot of the people around you, and it can be seen, but it's a fresh perspective. And I think the smart songwriting with the chances being taken caught my attention. And that's why I mentioned it. And that's why Alec heard me say that stuff. And he's like, he's getting it. And it wasn't that I got it. It's that it caught my attention. And it made me realize I can't let everybody watching this or hearing this right now not hear what I'm hearing. And because some people will be like, yeah, that was pretty cool, but I wish they had done a breakdown. No, they didn't need that there. No, they don't know. You missed that. Go back and listen to it again. They're like, I got it. Okay, okay, that was good. Yeah, okay, and you got it. Sometimes people have preconceptions, and it's the same thing with bands. Before you guys go, and we're going to have more conversations, by the way. I think we should have another conversation, probably after home, and
anytime.
Come back around because I want to.
This is fun.
I think after home it's going to be really fun. Before I go, is there anything that you guys want to say to anyone who's heard your songs? Is there something that they need to look for, or is there something that you wish people would get that it seems that people don't seem to understand? Is there anything? Is there any clues that people can appreciate the music even more? That was a hard one too.
So I would say, of course, we have an intention. We want to get a certain message across. We want to paint a picture or convey feelings. But if our songs mean something to you, then that's the truth. That's once we release it, it's not in our hands anymore, and it's for you to enjoy. So if you maybe you get a different feeling than we intended, but
I do.
If you enjoy it,
I'm weird.
Yeah.
Can I append a wish? Because I would love to hear about that.
Yeah.
And that's I think this is the magic of not only reaction videos, by the way, which is the magic of the internet put on top of this conversation, but this is why I love playing live, to be honest.
Yes.
It's like, this is not me on a pedestal screaming at people or me wanting to be loved or getting the girls, because none of that. Like, for me personally, I hear that a lot. I picked up the guitar when I was...
He's talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's your guy right there.
You know, it's like,
so
everybody is like... when I was 16, I picked up the guitar to get the girls. Like that, for me, I picked up the guitar because that fucking riff by James Hetfield, I needed to feel how it's been done. So, okay. For me...
I picked up my first djembe because I heard Incubus. And I was like,
yeah,
who the fuck puts a djembe in a modern...
Yeah.
It was like, oh, fuck, let's do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so for me, the conversation is, when we're on a stage and you guys are down there in the audience, we are just at a rehearsal without you, and you are just at a, how do you call it, like a standing party, you know, a stand-up party, whatever. Like, you're standing around with drinks without us. But with the both of us, this is a maelstrom of energy. It can be. And this is an invitation to a conversation. And this is how I see it. So also, when we release a song, like Freddie said, and somebody feels something like you did on that video, I would love to hear what you feel.
I've told this to one other band, and it made the lead singer cry. It's a band from Australia.
Not again.
It's a band from Australia, and they make some of the most creative shit I've ever heard. And they're from Perth, okay? That's literally the San Francisco of Australia, except that's all there is. It's just Perth. There's nothing else. It's as remote as a major city can be. And they were creating stuff that was outside the box for even Australia. And she loves her music. She believes in her music. She just worried that not enough people would be able to get it. And so the fact that we were making reactions and we were sharing her music and she was getting messages from people from France, Germany, Sweden, it was boggling her mind.
Yeah.
And she said, what is the most important thing that any musician has ever told you since you started YouTube? And it was this. An artist, who I'm not going to say their name, is a household name. Got a chance to talk to this person, and I said, what is the most important thing to you in your career? And he says, everybody asks me that, and everyone thinks it's the money. Everyone thinks it's the awards. Everyone thinks that, oh, one day you could be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or the thousands of people that I play to. He said, no, it was one day I was having coffee on our day off on the road in the middle of nowhere in Australia. And this is a guy that's from a band from the UK. Okay. They were doing an Australian tour. He was having coffee by himself. And he didn't think anybody would recognize him. But this one young person did. And this young boy, teenager, he said 13, 14 years old, came up to him and said, man, I got to tell you, your song, blah, blah, blah. There was this time when my girlfriend broke up with me and I thought everything was over and I just didn't give a shit anymore. And I told my parents I didn't care. And I was struggling with everything. And I heard this song and I just started to fucking care. Your song made me care. He's telling me this story and he starts crying and I'm like, he goes, that's the most important thing that's ever happened to me. This motherfucker has played in front of hundreds of thousands of people in his career, possibly millions. He's a world famous guitar player in a world famous band. And this one kid out of nowhere, and he says, here's the problem. The fucking song came out way before he was ever born. He said somewhere down the line, he heard that song and I saved a kid. I saved a life. And he goes, that's an example of one person that came up to me out of the blue who should have never even cared, doesn't know that it's me. I don't know who he is. The song came out before he was alive. And this is the thing. Whether you're Metallica, Taylor Swift, Rush, Ozzy Osbourne, or Darkk, once you put your song on YouTube, it is capable of touching someone's heart and impacting someone's life forever. Your legacy is cemented. And just like Picasso, if I say the word Picasso, everybody fucking knows his name. If I say Van Gogh, everybody knows Van Gogh just by me saying the word. Do you know who doesn't know who Van Gogh is? Van Gogh. He died before his first painting was ever sold for money. And he's considered the master of his genre. You do not know who that riff will touch. You do not know which young person, whatever the gender, whatever the lifestyle, whatever the age, that person might hear Kim's voice or Pam. We don't know what your legacy is going to be. You may become, you may enter the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as Pam. Doesn't matter. They may name a Starbucks after you, but whatever the case may be, it could be 20 years from now. It could be tomorrow. It may have already happened. And that person may never get a chance to tell you. But if that person can tell me the story about how there was no way in the world that young person would have ever crossed his path if he had not stopped to get a cup of coffee at a mom and pop coffee shop in Melbourne, Australia, for that kid to see him and go, I saw that video. That song changed everything for me. He goes, I am 25 years into my career. That made everything seem small.
Yeah.
So even if your next video has 1 view or 1 million views, that 1 view, remember this for the rest of your life. Your music will touch someone at some point in some way. And no matter what you do after you create that music, it's there forever. You may make the impact of millions. You may make the impact of 1. But you never know what the 1 may do next. And then the next person. And then who else do they impact? You could be the person that touches the life of their child that, you know, my relationship was in shambles and I heard your song and it made me realize that I'm not a piece of shit and my girlfriend's pretty cool. And then he raises the first person to step foot on Mars. You don't know. So because of that, take that with you. If you thought my reaction was important and special, I'm nothing compared to the person you don't know that traitor makes them go, oh my God. The person that listens to Damage and goes, I have a serious addiction problem. I got to get my shit together. If I look that ridiculous chasing a dream like that, maybe I should make a change. Or Home, which I have not seen yet. But do you see what I'm saying? If I liked it, that's awesome. If I got it, awesome. If I make a riff about it, cool. If I do a reaction and your song touches someone in a way that's positive in their life, that's with you forever. If my reaction gets someone to check your band out and then their song touches them, now we're family to that person. Maybe not personally, but everybody's willing to take a chance and check something out and share about it may create a moment. Now,
amen.
Fuck with that for the rest of the day.
That was beautiful.
But
that was beautiful and so on spot, really.
But also, it goes both ways. If you're at a venue and you're exhausted and you just got the truck packed, you just got the van loaded up, and that one last person comes running up, if you turn them away.
Yeah.
I told that to Bloodywood, and it fucked them hard. I should have never told them that, but I'm glad I did. They went to a show. They had to catch a flight in 14 hours. The flight airport was an airport 11 hours away. There's no room to fuck around. Into the show, they had to load and go. They stayed 2.5 hours. And they took pictures with every single fan. Because they promised. They made their flights.
Ooh.
And they never forgot that. Because they realized, well, shit, now that you're telling me if one thing I do that's good could change a life for the better, if I'm an asshole one time, what could the bad ripples be?
Mm.
That's the horror of being an artist. If you're willing to put your soul in music and put it out there, those ripples are going to go across a pond. They might be small ripples, but they're still going to get to the other side of the pond eventually.
Wow.
Remember that.
I know you just wanted, to finish the show and stuff. You just touched on something where this happened to us that maybe I can tell a short story. We've been touring Russia, as I said. We had a tour manager, Alex, best guy in the world. We went there in 2014 and 2016, in case somebody's wondering how can you tour Russia right now, etc. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we toured there. We had those occasions. The first tour was with the train. So we had to run to trains, literally, like you said, like we had to pack up and get everybody the merch, put all the stuff
We
in
don't
the
want to get
bags
left
and
behind in
run.
Russia. No.
Absolutely not. And especially no people. So, and we did that. And so we had this this bonding touring experience with Alex, who is literally the nicest guy in the world. And years later, this fuckhead Putin is attacking Ukraine, and this war breaks out. And since we're from Germany, we've had a lot of history lessons. We've seen this shit going down. And I was worried enough. I immediately connected to our Russian friends. We had several other friends in Russia as well, but especially Alex, who had a newborn or a little kid, a newborn right after our tour in 2016. So the kid was, I don't know, 6, 7. And a very nice wife that who we got to meet, Katya. And I was really worried. I was like, how? I don't want to see you die in a ditch somewhere because of some idiot's reasons. We need to get you out. And they were closing the borders already. Like there were, huge treks of people trying to leave the country. They couldn't. And of course, nobody in Russia has the money also to book a flight.
Yeah, it was frozen.
It was, yeah. So the banks, bank accounts were frozen, all of that stuff. And this is something, the second tour we did was with friends of ours, Phoenix Ashes, a band from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Literally like half an hour, 45 minutes from our place, but it's in the Netherlands. And so everybody immediately, we were like, okay, we're going to get Alex and his family out. And we tried everything, and it's a long story. I'm just going to cut it short, but we did in the end. And I remember sitting here at home, looking at my screen, watching that flight on some flight tracker go out and not knowing if he would make it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to cry again. So I'm just saying, we did, and he went to Vietnam. His family came later, so the family is safe. We put together the money with all of us and asking, I'm doing podcasts. I also told the story on a podcast. People chimed in. They sent us money. So we made this family survive for months and months in Vietnam because he couldn't work, etc., the language barriers. And he has a good life now. Like, we're in connection. They are fine. And of course, you cannot save all of Russia. But what made this thing a reality for his life and the future of his son was music.
Yeah.
That was us being on a train where he bribed someone so we could get from our shitty chairs to the first class and could lie down after 14 hours of, playing shows and shit. So it's like, this is what makes the real connections.
Yeah.
And this is what bonded us.
I think you pointed on one thing, and I'll say this before we go. I haven't said this yet. People have asked me to say something, and I won't because I don't get involved in politics. But I will say this. I don't agree with the cutting off of music to Russia and out of Russia since all this started. And it's not for the reasons people think it is. Like a record label stopped letting their YouTube channel get broadcast in Israel. A lot of bands, labels, and YouTube channels, and a lot of things cut off all music going into Russia and all music coming out of Russia because of the situation. And this is the reason why I didn't agree with that move. If it's for the money reason, fine. If you don't want to support fuckhead, like you called him, it's true. I agree with that. But don't stop the music. Mm-hmm. Don't stop the art. I can say this from experience. What would have happened in the 60s and the early 70s if the government said no music because of the Vietnam War? No music. If you sing about Vietnam, we're going to cut you out. Can't put your music out. What if they had said no music to Russia in the 90s or in the 80s? Music has a unique thing about it. If you take away the music from the leader of the shitty person we're talking about? Fine. But not everyone there is that person. And could you imagine if we stopped Johnny Cash, the Beatles, name Bob Dylan? Could you imagine if we had stopped all these artists from singing during the Vietnam War?
Oh.
What would have happened to the United States if we wouldn't have music speaking out against things? Where would we be as a society now? Music can sometimes reach the person being affected. Music is the only thing that circumvents all the political bullshit. Music is the only thing that can stop political propaganda in its tracks. Because music changes things. Could you imagine if the Scorpions had not written Wind of Change? Could you imagine if the Beatles had not written some of the songs that they made during the Vietnam War era? Songs that we think about when we talk about people putting aside their differences and doing things together for people. That's what we lost. And I'm not saying that some of the reasons why they blocked music from going into Russia were bad. I understand some of the reasonings. But to lose music, for an artist to be able to reach out in a song, singing about loss, singing about reflection, singing about the things that could matter to that one person that could make a difference, or to start a movement of people, because that's what happened here in America. If the government had been able to shut out music altogether in the United States in the 60s, you would not have had anti-war protests. You'd have not have had the hippie music. You would not have had that whole movement of peace and love. Could you imagine how much amazing fucking music would have never been made if they had stopped music because of a war?
Crazy.
We wouldn't have had Jimi Hendrix.
We've played a song called Unity Hymn by Star Revolution in Moscow. And we've live video of that. Do you remember? That was like that was the ending of the tour. We played Moscow. It was a great show, and people were going ape shit. So it was like the video was awesome. Everybody, the two bands that were touring were on stage. This was the thing, like why I make music. It was that moment and thinking about that. This song Unity Hymn was played in Moscow, and maybe it resonated on someone there.
Maybe it made a difference.
Maybe it made or will make a difference. Of course, it changed our look on Russia, because if you only look at the newspapers, it's political Russia.
Yeah,
but of course,
nobody's saying that Russia has not had a shitty political system going back the last 110 years. Nobody's saying that's not the case. What I'm saying is there are a lot of people.
The average Joes, or average Ivans.
They're born, they grow up, and they die, and they're just good Cossack people. People of the land. People that grew up listening to folk music. They live in a system. And we're never going to meet them, and they never meet us.
But yeah, we've talked to young people who have no perspective. I mean, who are critical thinkers, but that's leading nowhere in the system.
And that's what it was. Yeah. But that's what it was here in the 50s. Y'all are from Germany, so you may know a little bit about America's history, but did you know that in the 50s, we were so focused on the red thread of Russia that we were literally pushing anti-communist propaganda beyond its usefulness.
Yeah.
If you live in Germany, the Cold War, y'all are the front line. Like your parents, that's your life, okay? And
actually, we're from.
He and I both grew up. He and I were alive. We were alive. Kim wasn't there, but we remember when the Berlin Wall fell and the joy of Germany. The joy that Germany could be Germany again. The same thing happened in America in the 50s where we were being told something nonstop. So the entity that was America was going out doing things until finally the music, the artists, the creators were asking questions. And that's where you had the 60s. And it changed a lot of the perspectives of who we are. And some of the greatest music to ever influence metal now, you do realize that without the stuff that was going on in the 60s, there would be no Led Zeppelin. There would be no Black Sabbath. There would not be metal.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even exist because the anti-establishment fervor of bucking the system. What if that happened in Russia? What if creativity and artistry was allowed to thrive and they bucked the system finally? In some ways, art and music are some of the only things that have really been able to topple evilness in the world throughout history. Anyway, so this 2.5 hour, 2-part interview is going to be, we're going to edit it because I can't upload a 2-hour video to YouTube. I'm going to edit it down to the really cool parts. The rambling and stuff, I'm going to put on Patreon. Why? Why the fuck not? If somebody wants to watch 2.5 hours of people going, did you know? That's right, Pam. Then they can definitely do that. All of you, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know it's a good thing when you can lose track of time.
I didn't even notice it was that long.
You know you're in the perfect live event when somebody side stage is like, you're over fucking time. We had no idea it was this. We know. We could feel it too, but get off the fucking stage.
Yeah.
When you have
have that every time.
Yeah, when you don't
on stage.
Yeah, when you have to have somebody remind you, you're exactly where you need to be as an artist. I understand from a certain bull's point of view as an engineer, the numbers will always matter. But for the creative with the horseshoe mustache next to you, you're gonna have to remind him all the fucking time. Because he gets lost in the Deftones behind him. So all right, guys, thank you guys so much. Everybody, this is Darkk. One of probably many conversations. You guys cannot come to America now. Because I will make you motherfuckers late for your next show. You're going to have to put me in the van so we can just ride together. I'll just keep talking.
Richard, Oldskulenerd, we came prepared.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That was the one piece of merch I never we never came up with. Was a set of dice. I need to talk to my creative designer for that one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I look forward to the next thing of music. Now, if I don't hear about what's coming and I have to hear from somebody else, there's only one person to blame. He's laughing really hard because he knows. Do your job, bro. Give me a call.
Yes, I will.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.